Mark, I got a confession to make. It wasn't until about 3 or 4 years ago when I met Norman, your son Norm, that I found out that you weren't Canadian.
You know, you're not the only one. Everybody thinks I'm Canadian, but no, I'm good old American, born in Indiana.
What took you to Woodbine, and why was that such a big part of your career?
What drew me to Toronto was you can go there middle of March, run to the middle of December, and then they'd shut down, and I could go home to Ocala and spend the winter in Ocala, and I just liked it. We had a lot of success, and my dad first introduced me to Woodbine when I was like 12.
You mentioned Ocala. I heard an old tale about you in a horse van from Ocala.
My dad and I, when I think I was 12, we drove from Ocala in the horse van and drove up to Louisville and watched the Kentucky Derby, Secretariat. I can tell you this, Jonathan, I've spent many a night in the back of a horse van.
Obviously, it's a big week for you. You're officially being inducted into the Hall of Fame. What's that honor mean to you?
Well, it's everything, you know. Since I was a little boy, I've never known anything but horse racing. What greater achievement than the Hall of Fame? It says that, you know, you weren't good just one day, you weren't good just 2 days. You've been good over decades. And so it's the highest honor. I've been very fortunate in my life to win a lot of big races and receive a lot of awards, but this will be the biggest.
And obviously, you know, your staff and all the help you had along the way, but you also couldn't have done it without some of our four-legged friends, and one of them in particular that stands out to me was Tepin.
Tepin, her win at Royal Ascot was amazing.
Tepin, Pilado racing an effort near the line. Tepin pushed that move, wins for America, and that's the winner.
Tepin went over and beat them at their own game, which is impressive. At about the quarter pole, I started having these pains in my chest, and I was like, oh dear God, I'm having a heart attack. And then I was like, wait, so my left side, I'm okay. Then I started cheering again. So I went from worrying I was having a heart attack to, you know, over there you have to saddle your own horse. You have the option of saddle them in the paddock, or you can saddle them back at the barn. And we're used to saddling with a valet. So, you know, so we get back to the barn, Norman's like, okay, what are we doing here? So I said, you be the valet. So he goes over on the other side, and I pull the girth, and the saddle goes flying, hits me in the head, because he didn't hold on to the saddle. And Tepin just kind of looked at us both and like, you guys are a bunch of dummies. She never moved. You know, when you can achieve, you know, something great, it's fantastic. It feels good. When you can do it with your son, it's even more special.
How important was it for you in 2019 to as much as you've accomplished, to finally break through and win a couple of Triple Crown races? It happened in the same year with War of Will winning the Preakness and Sir Winston winning the Belmont Stakes.
I never realized how hard it was to get into the Hall of Fame until I was up for election. And it's something that I didn't want to do it until I felt like I deserved to be in there. And I think, you know, with War of Will winning the Preakness, and then of course Sir Winston coming back and win the Belmont, at that I was okay with being put in the Hall of Fame then. I figured, yeah, I probably deserve to be in there now. I didn't feel that way prior to that.
All right, so this is obviously a gambling game we're participating in, and so I figure we should set the line for the over-under on how many minutes into your speech until you start crying. I'm gonna say 1.5 minutes, over or under?
Under.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm gonna have my wife standing by to take over.